5 true creepy ghost stories. One story, The Girl from the Stairs. When I was a child, I kept dreaming about the same little girl. An African girl, about 6 years old, thin braids, wearing a red and white checkered dress. We played in sunlit fields, catching grasshoppers, lying in the tall grass, laughing. I knew her name was Sarah. I just knew. Every dream ended the same way. Her father, a massive farmer holding a pitchfork, would call her home. A horse stood beside him. She waved at me. I woke up. Until one night it changed. I woke up in my bed. The room was flooded with blinding daylight. Sarah stood beside me, tugging at my sleeve. She wasn't smiling. She was begging. She said this time I had to come with her. She led me to the staircase that went up to the 3rd floor, the dark, locked floor I was never allowed to enter. That's when I saw her father. He was standing at the top of the stairs. The horse stood beside him. Then the horse began walking down the staircase. Slowly, I told her I wouldn't go. Sarah looked at me as if I had just sentenced her to death. Her face aged in seconds. Her eyes turned black, deep and hollow. I woke up freezing. I was lying on the 3rd floor landing. After that, the dream stopped. A month later, workers found an old iron hitching post buried in our yard. Years passed. I found an overgrown cemetery across the hill. One headstone had been swallowed by a tree. Name, Sarah. Died at age 7. Year of death, 1893. No cause listed. That night, I went up to the 3rd floor. The lock was broken from the inside. There were small barefoot footprints in the dust, and hoof prints beside them. 2 story, The Thing on the Roof. My friend and I had been sneaking onto the roof of his apartment building for almost a year. It felt like our secret world, above the noise, above the rules. The attic was the only way up. Narrow wooden stairs, no lights, beams like ribs of something long dead. It always smelled like rot and dust, like rain had soaked into the wood decades ago and never truly dried. One night, I went up alone. He was downstairs arguing with his girlfriend on the phone. I remember rolling my eyes and deciding I'd just go up and wait. Halfway through the attic, I saw a shadow slide across the far wall. I laughed. Very funny. I said, I know it's you. The shadow passed again, closer this time. Then my phone buzzed. A text from him. Still downstairs. She won't stop crying. I froze. The attic creaked. Then I heard footsteps. Not boots. Not shoes. Bare feet. Slow. Deliberate. Wood bending softly under weight. My phone light flickered, dimmed, then brightened again. In that stuttering light, I saw it. The shadow detached from the wall. It wasn't cast by anything. It stood there. No face. No features. Just a darker absence in the dark. It tilted slightly, like it was studying me. Then it leaned closer. The air turned ice cold. My breath fogged in front of me. It whispered, voice layered, like several mouths speaking at once. You're not the one. Before I could move, something grabbed my wrist. Not hard, just enough to stop me. I yanked free and ran for the stairs. The attic door slammed shut. I twisted the handle. 3 story, The Machine That Remembers. I work at a rope factory that should have been shut down decades ago. The machines are older than anyone who operates them. They scream when they run. Metal grinding metal. Like they resent being awake. 30 years ago, a man named Arthur died on one of them. The rope snagged his glove, dragged him over the reeler. His neck snapped when he hit the concrete. They say the machine never even jammed. I was assigned to that same machine. The first time it happened, I thought it was mechanical failure. The rope tightened suddenly around my fingers. I felt the pull, violent and hungry. Then something slammed into my chest. Hard. I flew backward onto the floor. The rope loosened instantly. Clive saw it. It looked like something hit you, he whispered. There was no one there. I thanked the air. I shouldn't have. A week later, Clive worked alone. They found him bent unnaturally beside the reeler. Neck broken. Security footage showed him standing still, then jerking forward violently, like someone shoved him with both hands. No one else in frame. After that, things changed. The machine started turning on by itself. Rope would slowly unspool when no one was near. One night, I stayed late to review footage. On one clip, I saw something I hadn't before. Just behind Clive, a distortion in the air, like heat waves, and within it, the faint outline of a man. Watching. The next morning, my supervisor told me something new. Arthur wasn't the only one who died there. There was another worker, never reported, crushed when someone pushed him into the machine during a fight. The case was buried. Now when I walk past the reeler, the rope tightens slightly. Testing. Waiting. And sometimes, beneath the grinding of metal, I hear two voices. One grateful, one angry. Your turn. For story. The Shadow with Hollow Eyes. I was 12 when I made the mistake of mocking the shadow. Jay described it as small, thin, with eyes that went straight through its head. I laughed. Tell it to come get me. The temperature dropped instantly. Our breath fogged. The air felt thick, like underwater. Then I felt it. A finger pressing into my leg. Cold. Too cold. We were all holding hands under the blanket. No one could have touched me. At 2 a.m., the old television launched off the tray and crashed into us. Not fell. Launched. The tray legs were bent outward, as if kicked from underneath. We didn't sleep after that. I went home the next day exhausted. That night, I woke up because my bedroom door was open. I always close it. Something stood in the doorway. Small. Thin. Its head slightly tilted. Its eyes weren't eyes. They were holes. Perfect tunnels through its skull. And I could see my hallway light shining through them. It walked closer without moving its legs. Just sliding. It sat on my bed. The mattress dipped. It leaned in close. You invited me. I tried to scream. Nothing came out. It placed its hand on my chest. My heart stopped. I know it did. Because everything went silent. Then it started again. Different rhythm. Slower. Since that night, it hasn't left. I see it at the foot of my bed. In mirrors. Reflected where it shouldn't be. 3 years ago, my mother vanished. No signs of forced entry. No struggle. But I remember something. That night, I heard her get up. I heard her bedroom door open. And I heard her say softly, "Who's there?" Then silence. Now the shadow stands closer to me. Almost protective. Almost possessive. And sometimes, when someone knocks at the front door late at night, it moves between me and the sound. 5 story. The voice in the empty stall. I was leading a winter scout trip in a remote forest lodge. Temperatures below -20. Snow deep enough to swallow your boots. The bathroom was in a separate cabin. Old plumbing. Flickering lights. I walked in. Anyone in here? Yes. Jay's voice. Clear. A minute later. Everything okay? Yes. W's voice this time. But when we opened the stalls, they were empty. All 8 of them. Showers too. The sinks were dry. No footprints in the snow outside the back window. When we went back to the hallway, both Jay and W were there. They hadn't gone inside. That night, one of the boys, Liam, asked quietly, "Why were you telling us to come into the bathroom?" I hadn't. He insisted. "You said, come inside. It's warmer." Around 2 a.m., Liam's bunk was empty. No torn fabric. No noise. Just gone. We searched the forest with flashlights until sunrise. We found him inside the bathroom cabin, locked from the inside. He was sitting in the farthest stall, facing the wall, his fingers pressed into the wood so hard they left dents. He was alive, but he never spoke again. Years later, I went back alone. The building was abandoned. Snow drifted through broken windows. I stepped inside the bathroom. The door creaked shut behind me. From the last stall, a small voice said, "Everything's okay." And this time, it sounded exactly like me.